My dad, who died last year, asked me one time back in my TV days, "What's it like to be a local celebrity?" "It's like you bump into your friendly next door neighbors everywhere you go," I said.
Yeah, we came right by their boat yesterday and said, "Hi, Clarity! Nick and Megan!"
Yes,
Thank you, you two.
So I'm thinking like this is a gagging commercial now.
It is.
I just want to say thank you to everybody we've bumped into out here so far and who's been so kind and supportive of what we're doing. It's really, really cool, and you are the inspiration for these videos. We consider you a neighbor in this thing we call life, and we are so grateful you've decided to spend some of your hard-earned time with us. Thank you, and we hope to see you out here soon. We are underway from Powell Key to Crab Key. Not a very long trip. I think it's 6-7 miles. Characteristic of the Abacos, everything's very close together. That makes it easy, comfortable. The weather's just been fantastic. Got a northeast wind. It's going to pick up a little bit today, so that's why we're moving, to get a little bit more protection. And yeah, it's really cool hanging out at Powell Key. Beautiful beaches, nice and long. There's a couple wrecks. There's a sailboat wreck and a wrecked barge. A few fish gathering around, nothing spectacular, but kind of cool. And today is Megan's birthday. So we're gonna celebrate with some good food. And maybe, just maybe, a little dance party action. Happy birthday, Megan.
Thank you, Nick.
46.
What a great dinner. Look at these famous tuna cakes.
And I actually made these myself.
You did. They're so good.
Well, after a very exciting morning where we hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, we are getting underway and heading to someplace a little bit more scenic. Crab Key, nice, protected, not particularly scenic. So we're gonna head west towards Double-Breasted Key, which we have heard is very, very nice. Some tight sandbars, some tight anchorages. So we're gonna go check that out and hopefully get some nice beach time.
I tell you what, if I looked as good as in those underwear as you do, I would wear them proud. Can I help? So what happened here? We got in?
We're in. I do not want to swing that way though.
Are we gonna be able to get out of here?
Hopefully we do not have to make an emergency
So when Nick said, "Hey Megan, I got this great idea. Let's go sailing. Just sail away from all this." This is what I pictured. This is the best anchorage we've ever been in. No one's here. Just us and the rays and the reef sharks. I cannot wait to go swimming. Oh my God. Heaven. Sugar, what do you think? You gonna go paddleboarding?
Hey, you want to come? Want to go to the beach? Hold on. Let's go. No, back there. What? Let's go, sugar. There you go, queen. There you go. This is really freaking amazing. Where's my girl? Where's my girl? Oh, I'm gonna get her. I'm gonna get her, get her, get her, get her. Want some water?
It's like a hot tub. Yeah.
What do you think, buddy?
Trying to be like the town.
All right, our new baby
Too flashy.
is too flashy. Oh, so pretty. That's just dog hair. We don't even have any scratches on this one yet. That makes it a target.
Okay, this is
So what are you doing? You're abusing some sheets, looks like.
this is an old sheet, and it's going to become a pattern because I don't want to waste my sunbrella. I don't want to mess up sunbrella. I want to mess up a sheet.
Ah, good call.
Is this our ET engine cover?
This is the sound that our engine makes. All right, so what's going on
Okay,
here?
so what's our girl's name?
Maggie.
Okay, so Maggie is getting an attachment point here.
I really need a place to put my chapstick. Oh, this looks like an inviting spot. And so convenient, too.
Now your dinghy cover can have a chapstick.
This is the cutest outboard cover I've ever seen. Like a Mexican wrestler. There's a name for it, right?
Yeah.
The Mexican wrestler mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, just as far as our pre-departure checks and setup, I go through the engines, do a visual, look for any leaks. I check the oil levels, I check the dipsticks, and the coolant levels, and also the transmission oil levels. I'll also do a little test on the float switches for the bilge pumps. Those are notorious for going bad and either sticking on or sticking off. It's not something you want to deal with when you're rolling around out in the ocean. In terms of other preparations before we take off for the open ocean, we typically secure the dinghy. That means backup straps. We have friends whose lifting system broke mid-ocean. That actually led to a man overboard situation, so we secure the dinghy as best we can. Clear the decks, that means deflating the paddle boards and stowing those.
I'll also clear everything out of the salon that can roll around and prepare a bunch of meals so that they're easy to grab and easy to cook, because definitely don't want to be doing a lot of chopping and preparing while we're underway.
This is a big one, and this is ongoing, especially as our bottom paint is just about at the end of its life cycle. Got to do some scrubbing of the bottom, get rid of that grass, get rid of any barnacles, check the props, make sure there's nothing on those. That'll help us go a bit faster, and that'll certainly help things. And just for peace of mind, I'll close all the unused through holes in the boat, so there's no need to have air conditioners running while we're underway, so I'll close those, and I may even close the through hole to the genset. Of course, you gotta remember to open it back up before you use it.
make sure, test our Iridium Go, because we're going to need weather while we're offshore. Make sure that's working. Let our family know that we're heading out to open ocean and bound for Wilmington.
We also have a personal MOB, a man overboard beacon. One of the most critical pieces of equipment that you've got on your person if you should fall overboard is this thing right here. That's just a whistle. If you were to fall overboard and somebody's not on deck to watch it happen, you got to make a lot of noise and make it fast. If you don't immediately alert somebody, we've got one more tool on board, and we only have one of these, so we actually share this life jacket, and whoever's on watch is going to be wearing it. But this is an MOB-1. This is a little transmitter that puts out a signal to the AIS. So it will alert us with an alarm, hopefully, as I'm about to demonstrate. And then it will also plot a man overboard waypoint that whoever comes up and starts steering the boat can steer back to. So let's try it. Let's try and demonstrate it without letting the little antenna deploy, because that would be a big mess that we don't want to deal with. But I've fallen overboard. Can you get a close-up shot of this? Oh, that's maybe a little too close. I got to keep my thumb over the antenna so that it doesn't make a big mess. All right, button. I press that. So that didn't take all that long, a little longer than I'd like. That's the alarm. That's going to wake up the off watch. And I don't know if you can zoom in here.
Notice that it alerted us with it automatically plotted a man overboard waypoint. So if we were in an actual emergency, we could zoom in and find that waypoint. So I'm just going to turn everything off.
And I'm going to turn off our man overboard device.
Cool, that makes me feel a lot better.
Yeah. So this is critical. We probably should have 2 of these on board. In fact, when we get back, we'll probably buy another one. But for a couple $100, it's really some good insurance.
I'm also going to get our kind of warmer or cold weather gear out for those late night watches.
Yeah, we're used to being in the tropics. We're used to being warm almost all the time. So you got to have the long pants and the jackets ready to go. Especially if we got some rain. That'll really cool you down.
One nice thing is with all the food gone, I can store our soda stream, our blender, pots, that type of thing in this little section here. And then here's our ditch bag that is also the ottoman, and it's got a radio, some water, some life vest, thermal protectant gear. These are also flares in here, so we got 3 good flares, some line. We'll keep that here in the salon. It's pretty accessible if we need it. So that'll continue to make up our ottoman. We are charging up the headlamps, which is important in the middle of the night to not have a dead headlamp. So that's good.
And as part of our pre-departure preparations, I am always looking at the weather and our potential routing. So I'm going to go in depth with this with our next video when we really talk about the trip up to the States. But I'll just give you a brief overview of the things I'm considering and thinking about as we get ready to go. We have decided to head to Wilmington, North Carolina. That's a distance of approximately 400 miles from where we are in the northern Abacos right now. The route is basically a northerly one, almost heading due north, maybe 005. So 400 miles and some rough math in my head. We're talking about a 3-day, 2-night trip. If it was a slow trip, we're talking about 3 nights. And if it's a really slow trip, maybe up to 3 nights and 4 days, but hopefully not. And as I mentioned, I'm always looking at the weather. I downloaded my departure routing through predict wind. I'll take the route off real quick and just show you what we've got along that route. Over the next few days, there isn't a whole lot going on. There is a weak little front that's going to come through. I'll just hit play for you. And that means that we will have a northeasterly breeze developing along with showers and thunderstorms Tuesday, and then that front should fizzle a bit on Wednesday. I think we're looking at a departure of Wednesday morning, and we'll have a mostly southerly wind through most of that route. It'll turn southwest as we get towards Friday, and the winds will be increasing. So I'm anticipating a little something of everything with this upcoming jaunt. We are going to have some light winds and some strong winds, and I think the sea state will be relatively mellow, so that'll be nice. So in terms of checking other sources, we'll go over to Windy, see what's going on there. It's the same story. We've got that little frontal boundary coming in Tuesday into Wednesday. It may stall out just a bit, and then we should see an east wind turning over towards the south and then the southwest towards the end of the week. So that's pretty much it for our getting ready to go. In next week's video, we're going to talk about actual weather and routing, get specific, talk about the weather in detail, and then we will make the trip and we'll bring you along for the ride. That should be fun.